Hello everybody, this is Katara Wilson and I am a 2006 Body for Life champion in the couples category along with my husband, and today I'd like to do a quick video for you on symptoms of dehydration and some simple tips to help you keep your body well hydrated. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. And some of the main symptoms of dehydration that we are talking about are headaches, fatigue, loss of appetite, dark colored urine, dry skin, and of course thirst. And a common misconception that a lot of people have is that sometimes shortly after eating they feel like they're hungry again. That hunger, or what you think is hunger, is actually thirst. Your body is telling you that it needs more water in it to sustain it. And what a lot of people don't realize is that our bodies are comprised of 75 to 80% water. So more than half of our body mass is contained or made up of water. So knowing that, we know how vital and how important water is to our survival and to just our bodies functioning in the proper way that they should. And let me just go ahead and add that when I'm talking about hydration and dehydration symptoms, I am referring to people who are, fairly healthy, from fair to good health, people who are not currently challenged with any kind of illness like a flu or any kind of fever, things that can typically deplete you of your body stores of fluid. We're just talking about average people who on a day-to-day basis usually do not do the things that they should to keep their bodies well hydrated. So again, our bodies are made up of 75 to 80% of water. And what that water does is it helps our bodies to flush out toxins. And we take in toxins every time we breathe in air, every time we eat food, even if we are attempting to eat the cleanest of foods. A lot of foods still have chemicals and pesticides and hormones and things of that nature, and our bodies assimilate that and process those toxins and store them in our cells. We also accumulate or take in toxins by what we put on our skin. The skin is the largest organ on the body, and anytime you put on a butter, a cream, a lotion, anything on your face, mask, any type of facial that you do, when you wash your hair, the conditioner, the shampoo, when you color your hair, the color treatment, the chemicals from relaxers, or anything you put on your hair also is absorbed into the scalp, and the scalp is skin. So it goes into your body and those toxins absorb in your body. What the water does is to help flush those things out, and primarily that is through sweat and our urine. And again, a typical or very easy way to know if you're hydrated or not is to take a look at your urine. If it's a very dark colored urine, your body is not well hydrated. If it is pale, yellow, and almost clear, your body is well hydrated and you're doing a good job. And before I move on to some tips on how to keep yourself hydrated, I just want to share that in addition to the symptoms that I mentioned earlier in the video, a lot of people suffer from lower back pain, and what they don't realize is that a lot of times lower back pain can be attributed to dehydration, chronic dehydration, where they are not taking in enough fluids to keep the disc in between the vertebrae of the spine well lubricated so that they can move fluidly and help you to function throughout your day. As you're sitting, you're standing, you're walking, you're bending, you're running, whatever it is that you're doing, those discs in between those vertebrae in your back are constantly moving with you, whatever you do. And if they are not well lubricated, well, that could cause inflammation, that can cause pain. And I've even heard of stories of people who thought that they needed back surgery. They took a simple protocol of just adding more fluids into their body, and they were able to cancel their surgery because what their body really needed was adequate and sufficient hydration. And when we talk about hydration, I'm not talking about the 2 cups of coffee that you have every morning, or tea, or your soda, any other carbonated beverages like the carbonated flavored water. We are talking about water. Or one caveat to that is that juices, fresh juices, not the processed juices that you get in the store off the shelf or out of the refrigerated section in the dairy section. We are talking about freshly squeezed juice or freshly extracted juice from a juicer, because most fruits and vegetables are made up primarily of water. So therefore, by drinking the fresh juice of fruits and vegetables, you still are getting in not only nutrients from all the nutrients that are in those fruits and vegetables, but you are also getting the water content that is contained in there as well. So you can definitely count that towards proper hydration. In fact, there are a lot of people who do what's called juice feasting, and completely different video, no time for that today. But for people who are taking in copious amounts of juice in one day, they do not also need to take in large amounts of water as well, because they are getting their water intake from the fresh juices that they are bringing in. So just wanted to add that little bit. So I didn't mention juices when I talked about coffee and tea and soda. If you're doing juice, it should be freshly extracted juice from the fruit or vegetable themselves, not from a box or a container or a bottle out of the grocery store. So when we talk about staying well hydrated, there's kind of a rule of thumb as to how much water someone should take in per day. And kind of the rule is that you want to take in 50% of your body weight. So for someone who weighs 150 pounds, that's 75 ounces of water that they should take in per day. There's also kind of a rule of thumb out there that if you really want to go for the gusto, that's my phone, let's just ignore it. If you really want to go for the gusto, you can go ahead and take in a gallon of water. And I know that that seems like a lot, but it's definitely doable. So in order to stay well hydrated, there's another rule of thumb out there that in addition to drinking half of your body weight in ounces, that you can also take in a gallon of water a day. And I know for a lot of people that seems like a lot of water. So let me just share with you what I used to do and what I do now to get in a gallon of water per day. A gallon of water is perfectly fine. It will not hurt you at all. So this is my gallon container that I have had for many, many years. And when I used to work in corporate America, I would take this to work with me in the morning. I would fill it up, and what I would do is I would go back to my desk, and I had a 32-ounce cup that I kept at my desk. And I would, throughout the day, fill up that 32-ounce cup and drink throughout the day. For me, it helped me because I was able to see progress as I poured into the cup and then would drink out of that cup, and then when I went to pour again, I'm seeing progress as it's moving down. Instead of me drinking out of here where you can only take so many sips at a time, it's all mental, but to me it just helped the time go by faster. And sometimes I challenged myself with little challenges like, okay, I'll drink 32 ounces before lunch, another 32 ounces before or by 3 o'clock, and then the final 32 ounces by the time I leave at 5 o'clock. So that left my final 32 ounces for me to consume once I got home. And also a tip, as you're spreading out your gallon of water per day, try to get in that last bit of water, however much it is for you, however you space it out, about 2 hours before you go to bed, because you do not want to be interrupted from your very restful slumber to have to get up several times during the night to use the bathroom. So I always try to make sure that I'm finished a couple of hours before I go to bed so that my body can release all of that fluid that I've taken in. Another way I challenged myself was, instead of before lunch by 3 and by 5, I would do every 2 hours, between 8 and 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4. When I did it that way, I was finished with the entire gallon by the time I left for work that day. Those are just some ideas to help you get through it. As far as taste, I know it can be boring. Water is actually very refreshing, and I know as you're just starting out, it could be a very daunting idea to take in so much water. Add some fresh fruit to it, a couple slices of lemon, oranges, strawberries, anything to give it a little bit of natural flavor and to help you get it down. Now that I am home, I do not really use this that much anymore, but what I do use is a 32-ounce mason jar. And this is my jar that I am still working through for the day, and I just fill it up 4 times a day. I don't have myself on a time schedule, except that I want to make sure that I'm finished with it, again, about 2 hours before I get ready to go to bed. And if I need to go out of the house, this is easy enough to take with me. Normally with the mason jar, I have a little lip that covers it and then the little seal here. But my children, someone has lost my lip, so I have to pour whatever I have in here into my water bottle that I can take with me on the go so that I can continue drinking while I'm out, so that I do not fall behind or mess up. And you know what? You might mess up, you might fall behind. If you get only to half of your body weight in a day, that's fine. But otherwise, if you want to go for the gusto, go for the gusto and go for the gallon. But at minimum, try to get to half of your body weight in ounces if possible. So those are my tips on how to stay hydrated, as well as information that I gave you earlier on signs of dehydration. It's a very simple remedy to fix, and I would love to hear how your life, your physical, any physical changes you experience once you start taking in adequate amounts of water. So please leave me a message or a comment. I would love to hear from you. I thank you so much for your time. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.